Volkswagen have just revealed their first serious electric hot hatch. Is it serious or is it just slow? Well, there's two different versions. There's a GTX and a GTX Performance. And there is one very big problem with them. And the problem comes from this reality. Volkswagen knows it doesn't want to cannibalize itself, because Volkswagen sell the Golf R and they sell the Golf GTI. Now, if they make the electric version better, then Volkswagen are afraid it'll lose sales of its normal hot hatch internal combustion engine vehicles. And that's why they've made them, to be honest, pretty average, not that good. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, guys, I've been following the hot hatch game for many years. I don't know why. My first car I got was a hot hatch. It was actually a Toyota. And I spent a lot of money modifying that car. I love hot hatches. I don't know why. I've always had a thing for them. I've always enjoyed them. Always thought they were kind of like a practical car. Volkswagen have just revealed the new 322 horsepower Volkswagen ID.3 GTX Performance and the standard GTX. So the GTX Performance really is the only one of the two that I think proper hot hatch aficionados would be interested in. However, two versions, right? The standard GTX model has one motor in the rear, so they're both rear-wheel drive. And the GTX Performance also has one motor in the rear. All right, so the GTX standard model has 282 horsepower. So that's 210 kilowatt. About the same as a Volkswagen Golf GTI, right? It'll do 0 to 62 miles an hour or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6 seconds. Which means for a hot hatch, it's probably the slowest electric hot hatch that is currently on the market, and it's brand new. So you can see my point here, right? That Volkswagen, they're trying to make it not cannibalize their internal combustion engine hot hatches. Now, to give you some context, the previous fastest Volkswagen ID.3 was pretty slow. It did 0 to 62, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 7.3 seconds and had only 150 kilowatts, so 201 horsepower, which for a hot hatch was, not that much. Now, actually, I've just looked it up, guys, and the current Volkswagen Golf Mark 8.5 GTI, the internal combustion version, has 262 horsepower, which is 195 kilowatt. Sense that to the front wheels. So for that reason, it does 0 to 62 or 0 to 100 in 6.2 seconds. So yeah, in comparison to electric hot hatches that we've now seen from, say, MG, it's pretty slow. Or say something like a Tesla Model 3 Performance, it's obviously slow, which actually you'd probably think, hey, how's that relevant? That's surely more expensive. Well, it's not actually. Similar price. GTX Performance and the Model 3 Performance will probably have a similar price. And when you consider the fact that the Model 3 Performance has two motors and over 600 horsepower, it does make this look a bit undercooked, right? That's what I think anyway. Now, the GTX Performance does have more power, and it's got quite a lot of torque. In fact, it's got 545 newton meters of torque and 240 kilowatt, which is 322 horsepower. That's not too bad. But it is a relatively heavy vehicle. It does 0 to 62 in 5.6 seconds. So 0 to 100, 5.6 seconds. That means that it's only just a little bit faster than a standard Tesla Model 3. The standard range model, the cheapest version, obviously it's significantly slower than a Tesla Model 3 long range. Now, why do I mention the Tesla? Well, just to give you some reference, because everyone knows what that car is, everyone knows what the prices are in their country, give you some context on, how it compares. So, how else does it compare? Well, the ID.3 has one motor, of course. The standard range Tesla also has one motor. They're both in the rear, but the Tesla Model 3 long range does have, of course, two motors. Now, the top speed is 111 miles an hour, so 180 kilometers an hour. That's for the regular version, but the performance version can do 124 miles an hour, so it has a 200 kilometer an hour top speed. It has a single speed transmission, both the GTX and the GTX Performance single speed transmission, which is very common in electric cars. A 79 kilowatt hour battery, not a lithium iron phosphate battery. It is a ternary battery. It offers, actually, here's the big thing about this car, which does make it worth considering. 373 miles, so 600 kilometers of range. Charging speed's also quite good, 175 kilowatt charging speed. So guys, that's really the key reason you'd buy this. It's really not a performance car. It's nowhere near fast enough to compete with, I don't know, at least 50 other electric cars that are priced similarly. But that range, that's what you'd be looking at it for, right? It's going to have decent handling. It's going to get around corners nicely, but it is heavy. You know, it is heavier than a Tesla Model 3, even though it's significantly smaller. But you're getting a big battery and a lot of range. 79 kilowatt hour battery, 373 miles or 600 kilometers of range. And that's pretty, it's not too far off real world range. This is one of the longest range EVs you can buy in many, many countries. Interestingly, it's got good range considering it does have pretty big wheels, 20-inch 5-spoke Skagen wheels. And they're pretty distinctive. It's also got a gloss black diffuser, trick LED headlights, tail lights, LED matrix lights are optional though. Got to pay extra for those. GTX lettering as well, you get that too. Now looking at the inside, you can see there's lots of GTX lettering. You get kind of semi-bucket seats, so it's going to hold you in quite nicely. It's got a 12.9-inch touchscreen, not a particularly big touchscreen. Apparently it's got a chat GPT powered voice assistant. Don't know if that's a positive or a negative. But either way, guys, this is a pretty good car if you think about it as a total package. Well, but that really depends on price. So if the price is similar to, say, the Tesla Model 3 long range in your country, I think it's going to be a bit more expensive. But if it was similar to the new Tesla Model 3 Highland long range, would you get this or the Tesla? Which one do you think is the better choice? Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.